Recently, it's been a lot of verbal, mental, when he does have interactions with me. Our last court, he sent me a lot of nasty messages because he was upset. I read those to the court on the day that we had it in April. He's estranged from his wife. She has an upcoming court. She had one last week.
He is in default and you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Ms. Crystal Garcia. Ms. Garcia, please state your full name.
Crystal Marie Garcia.
And Ms. Garcia, you are the mother of Penelope Rose Valades,
Yes, ma'am.
and her date of birth is November 19th of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
How old is she?
5.
And with whom does she reside?
Me, my husband, and my 2 other children.
And are you residing in Liberty County?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what county Mr. Valades resides in?
Galveston.
And who makes the day-to-day decisions for Penelope?
I do.
When did you and Mr. Valades separate?
May of 2019.
What kind of relationship does Mr. Valades have with Penelope since you guys separate?
He doesn't have one with her. The last time that he seen her was in October of 2021, and that was in person. And aside from that, he doesn't talk, he doesn't text or call her or anything like that. I'm the one that reaches out. He's had one video call with her, and I want to say that was in October, the first week of October of last year. And he was heavily intoxicated, so he hasn't had another video call since then.
So he doesn't participate in day-to-day decision-making for Penelope?
No.
What kind of safety concerns do you have with Mr. Valades knowing your current or future address, contact information?
He has been physical with me in the past. I do have pictures of that. It's just a lot of now that was back when we were together. But recently it's been a lot of verbal, mental, when he does have interactions with me. Our last court, he sent me a lot of nasty messages because he was upset. I read those to the court on the day that we had it in April. So that's why I don't want him to have my information, because when he's upset, he can be very explosive, and then combine that with him drinking, and he has had past drug use. I'd rather not even put myself in that situation or my daughter.
Is there any protective order or any court cases
No,
going on? Have you called the police on any occasions or anything like that?
no.
If the court orders, would you be willing to use something like app close to
Yes,
communicate about your child?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking the court for supervised visits?
Yes, ma'am.
And who would supervise the visits?
My husband.
Is there anyone else that can supervise?
No, ma'am.
Do you know if Mr. Valades has any other children?
He does. He has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Both girls.
Are they residing with him?
No, they reside with their mom, which is Melissa Orjuela.
And you and Mr. Valades signed an acknowledgement of paternity for Penelope on or around November 19th of 2018. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, I offer into evidence as State Exhibit A, the acknowledgement of paternity in this case.
Ma'am, do you have any objection to me admitting that acknowledgement of paternity into evidence?
No, ma'am.
And what exhibit number did you want it?
A, Your Honor.
It's admitted. And can you clarify if he pays child support for those children? I might have missed.
Not at this time. He's estranged from his wife. She has an upcoming court. She had one last week, but she did say, I do keep communication with her for our daughters to be able to have a relationship with each other.
I'm not following. That's a lot of information very fast. Can you break that a little? Did you just say she had court last week regarding one of these kids?
Yes, she had court last week, but she stated that there was a error that was done on the court side. She speaks majority Spanish, so they said that they had to reschedule her court for July 25th. So nothing was discussed or said or anything except the rescheduled date.
Ms. Garcia, does Mr. Valades provide any financial support for Penelope?
Wait,
No.
wait, can we go back to my
I'm
question?
sorry.
One of the
Okay, I'm
kids
sorry.
hasn't gone to court yet. What about the other child? That was a lot to understand.
He has two children, both
Mhm.
children he has with Miss Melissa. And those were
Okay.
the two children that were being discussed on the previous court that got rescheduled for July 25th.
You may continue, Mr. Mommy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Has Mr. Valadez provided any financial support for Penelope since you guys separated?
He has given me some money through Cash App, and I can provide those amounts that he has given me.
And you said you guys separated in May of 2019?
Correct.
And what has he provided through Cash App?
So through Cash App, he had sent me money previously. That was for his phone bill, which I can produce the information that it was for that. In regards to Penelope, I can give you those amounts. Bear with me. He gave me $100 for her on October 27th of 2023. He gave me $100 for her on October 12th of 2023. He gave me $100 for her on October 10th of 2023. He gave me $25 on September 27th, 2023. He gave me $100 on September 13th, 2023. He gave me $20 on September 1st, 2023.
Do you have these all added up?
I don't.
Can you repeat those then? I might have missed one.
Yes.
That's all information.
Would you like the dates as well or just the amounts?
I guess I'll take both. You know what? I'm gonna take a moment to put this in a better format, so this is more useful. Okay, let's do the dates and amounts slowly.
Okay. So I have $100 October 27th, 2023. $100 October 12th, 2023. $100 October 10th, 2023. I have $25 September 27th, 2023. $100 September 13th, 2023. $20 September 1st, 2023. $150 August 19th, 2023. I have $20 August 12th, 2023. I have $100 August 7th, 2023. $50 March 20th, 2023. $25 March 8th, 2023. $50 February 28th, 2023. $30 February 16th, 2023. $60. I'm not sure if I mentioned this one. $60 February 7th, 2023. $60 January 20th, 2023. I have $50 December 27th, 2022.
Hold on.
If it makes it easier, I have total are 39 transactions that I have from him of an amount of $3,505. But of that amount, some of that is towards his phone, which I can provide the price of his phone and whatever
Can you do
amount. for him.
math, ma'am? This is your time to present evidence to me.
Understood. So out of that 305, I can give me give me 1 second. 305. So what he's giving me for her is a total of $2,050.02.
050.02.
2050.02.
Why was he giving you money for a phone?
Because his phone was under my line even after we had separated. His mom asked me to keep him on my phone line because she didn't want to put him on her phone line. So we agreed to do it as long as he was paying me for the device and the service. But he's no longer on it. He paid it off. He paid the entire amount of the phone, and then he paid his last installment of when he gave me a notice and said it was just well, he didn't give me the notice. His wife did at the time. She said, I would prefer for y'all not to keep having things tying y'all together. So I'm giving you a notice. Next month, he'll be off your phone line. He's paying you what he owes you entirely, and you can disconnect future data. And I did that. So he has not been on my phone line since I want to say about 3 years ago.
Testimony? Do you have any more testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment, I'm sorry. Ms. Garcia, in regards to visitation, where did you have a suggested place to meet for visitation exchanges?
Yes, the park, Campbell Park in Cleveland, Texas.
And did you have an address for that?
So I believe it was coming up as 102.
And do you know, if Mr. Valadez is working?
He is.
Do you know what kind of work he does and where he works?
I know that he works in LaPorte, Texas, and it's a warehouse that handles big packaging, big heavy plastic, like pallets of big heavy plastic.
You don't know the name of the company?
I don't.
What insurance, does your son have? I'm sorry, your daughter?
She doesn't. I pay for her insurance whenever not insurance, her doctor visits. I pay for them out of pocket.
So she does not have, medical or dental insurance at this time?
Correct. She does not. I pay for it out of pocket.
Um,
And she's up to date on everything.
do you know if Mr. Valadez has anything available?
He does have insurance. The last time that we had our court in April, he stated that it was too much for her to be on his insurance, and he asked the lady that was communicating, like the mediator for both of us, if she could ask me to have Penelope put on my husband's insurance, which we declined because it's a lot more expensive on my husband's insurance, which is why I pay for it out of pocket. So I did tell the lady that I would prefer for him to give me those amounts that he would have been given, to give those to me, and then I would set those aside. So when she does have to go to dental or medical, then I have that there to use.
Have you tried applying for the coverage through another source? You said not through your husband. Is there any other way to get insurance for your daughter?
Through my employer, it's really expensive. So what works best for us is just paying for out of pocket when she has her checkups or has her like her routines, or if she gets sick, then I take her to the doctor. But she's a pretty healthy child. She doesn't really get sick. She's up to date on all her shots and on her dental as well.
And I'm
And has
sorry,
no-
going back, you have discussed with Mr. Valadez about covering him under his insurance?
We
Covering her?
discussed it. We discussed it on the last court that we had in April, and he stated he didn't want her on his insurance because it was too much, and he has two other children.
Are you aware if those other two children are on his insurance?
They're not.
Your Honor, at this time, I pass this witness and I would like to call Mr. King.
Ma'am, have you looked at insurance on that website through the government where you can get cheaper insurance?
Are you referring to like Medicaid?
No, Medicaid.
Yeah, I don't. No, I've never looked into those.
You may call your next witness, Ms. Damani.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Mr. Matthew King. Mr. King, please state your full name.
Name is Matthew King,
And Mr. King, who is your employer?
Office of the Texas Attorney General.
And how long have you worked for the Attorney General?
Roughly about 10 years.
What's your current position?
Child Support Officer 4.
And what job duties do you have as a child support officer?
I review cases for modifications, enforcement, do in-office negotiation conferences, appear for court, pretty much anything they ask.
And as part of your job duty, do you investigate wage information, place of employment?
Yes, I investigate place of employment, verify parties, information as far as locate addresses, employer info.
Were you able to find any information regarding Mr. Valadez's employment?
Yes,
And is he does he currently work?
yes, he's currently employed with an employer at this time.
And were you able to investigate his wages?
Yes,
And do you have like a gross amount that he earns monthly?
I was able to find out that he grosses, on average about $4,681.75 per month.
And were you able to determine if Mr. Valadez has any obligated child support cases?
He doesn't have any obligated at this time. He just has another case that's pending.
So there's no court order on that
No.
case yet? How many children are on that case?
2.
And in calculating child support based on no obligated cases, how much did you calculate?
Based on no obligated, it would be about $729 a month for child support. If medical costs, medical and dental costs him about $280 a month for one child.
Were you able to determine if there's some kind of insurance available?
I was not able to determine if he has health insurance available at a reasonable cost.
And were you able to determine if any calculations for the back child support?
Did not get that calculated, didn't know how long they were wanting to go back.
What, as far as your investigation, was Mr. Valadez employed in 2019?
Yes, he was.
And are you able to see a gross for that year, 2019?
Yes, I would. I'd have to add it up. I can do that real quick. He grossed $2,716.95 a month during 2019.
So what was that number?
$2,716.95 per month.
What about 2020?
I was not able to verify any wages for 2020. I was only able to get wage information for 2023, 2022, and 2019.
May I?
Right
Except
now,
for,
they're on the witness stand.
you said for 2022, what did you find for 2022?
He averaged $2,918.67 for 2022.
And 23?
For 2023, he grossed $47.14 and 33 cents per month.
You said 47.14?
Yes, ma'am, and 33 cents.
I'll pass this witness around.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses' testimony?
No other witnesses, Judge.
Ms. Garcia, the state doesn't represent you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know if this is relevant, or if this helps with anything, but on the last court that we had, what was the amount for back child support was a total of 2,120. I did want to request, that, that he would, how can I go about, or not even request, but more of information of how can I go about getting a passport for my daughter. I've asked him for it in the past and he's declined to give it to me. And I'm more than happy to make him aware of when we're traveling times and all that stuff, but I would like to have passport for her. I do want to be the primary for decisions for her, because I have been. And then I would also, when it comes to the supervised visitations, I would like at least to have at least 20 supervised visitations at the park, weather permitted. If it's not, like at a Chick-fil-A, somewhere where it's public. And once those 20 visitations are complete, then he can start taking her like by himself for like a few hours before he does overnight stays. I just want her to be comfortable before he takes her, and he's consistent with that. And bear with me because I just made some notes of what I wanted to address. I also would want to do where pickups and drop-offs are at the police station. And besides that is there, I know that on the last court that we had, the lady did tell me if he looks like he's impaired, or he's under the influence, obviously I have the right to refuse for my daughter to go with him for her safety. I would like to have that today as well in writing, and if possible to do visits on Wednesdays and Thursdays, which is when I'm off, so that I can have my other children with me, since my husband would be the one to go for the supervised visitations with Penelope, so that it would be just him and Penelope and Martin. And then I would keep my other children here with me at home.
Your husband's available to go on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Wednesdays and Thursdays, yes, ma'am, he is.
So you said Wednesday?
Wednesday and Thursday, yes, ma'am. Which I also feel that's not unfair because Martin does work. 1 week he works nights, 1 week he works days. So then that way it's also feasible for him to be able to see her on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
When would he be able to see her on Wednesdays and can you be more clear with what you're requesting for those Wednesdays and Thursdays?
Yes, I'm saying I'm requesting Wednesday and Thursday so that I'm able to take care of my other.
And I understand what you said. I don't understand the details.
Okay, so
what time were you proposing?
I'm fine with whatever time works for us, whatever time the court wants to set. We're okay with any time on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I'm asking because I don't know what works for you and for Mr. Valdez. I don't know what time he works. I don't know any of that.
Understood. We could do like 10 a.m. That would be fine.
Do about when?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe Mr. Valdez does not work on Wednesdays and Thursdays and he's available for visitation from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays?
He works 1 week, he works weekdays. 1 week he works I'm sorry, not weekdays. 1 day he works, I'm sorry, 1 week he works nights and another week he works days. His schedule fluctuates. So that's why I'm saying it would be fair so that he's able to, since the visitations would be every other week, it would be fair for him as well.
Mr. Monty, did you explain to her it's usually first, third, and fifth weekend, so that might not work out?
We did not get into the specifics about the days, Your Honor.
Can you elicit more testimony then? Because I'm not clear really on what.
Miss Garcia, on visitation, you're saying that you're available only on Wednesdays and Thursdays?
Yes,
So you're not, what about Sundays?
I work Sundays. My only off days are Wednesdays and Thursdays.
And what kind of hours do you work on Saturday and Sunday?
Sundays, I work 7 to 3, sometimes 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sometimes, most of the time, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And on Saturdays, I work 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
What's the hours on Sunday?
7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sometimes it's 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Is there a possibility Sunday evening?
We could do that.
What hours would you be available on Sunday evening?
After 5 p.m. would be fine. 5 p.m. and forward.
What time does the child go to sleep?
She goes to sleep at 8:30.
What about Wednesday and Thursday evenings? What
We could do any time after 12 p.m.
do you know what kind of hours Mr. Valadez does? Do you know what time he gets off work?
He gets off of work. When he works nights, he goes in at 6 p.m., gets off at 6 a.m.
Does he work on the weekends?
From my understanding, he has a lot of overtime on weekends, but he does not traditionally work weekends.
And he usually works overnights, you said?
He works 1 week overnight, 1 week days.
Would you be able to do on the weeks that he's not working during the day, would you be able to do maybe a few hours in the afternoon? I'm sorry, your daughter goes to school, correct?
She'll be starting school.
I'm going to do a temporary order, Ms. Damani, because there's a lot of unresolved issues that need to be resolved before this finalizes. And so I'm just going to do every Sunday from 5 to 8.
You said every Sunday, Judge?
Yes, and that will be supervised at the park suggested by her husband. And Ms. Damani, what are you requesting regarding medical support?
Your Honor, we would
sorry.
request Ms. Garcia apply through another source. If it is gonna be a temporary order, Judge, reserving that issue until, and maybe Ms. Garcia looks into insurance options for the child.
Okay, what would the child support be without any cash medical?
Sorry, I'm getting on the case here. 729, Judge.
That was with 280 cash medical. I'm sorry, did you say 789? I'm gonna misheard here.
Sorry, we 785, Judge.
So I'm gonna order child support at $785 per month. I'm ordering that Ms. Garcia look into insurance through another source, would include healthcare.gov. Lots of places you could get insurance. The marketplace through the Affordable Care Act. You're in court, I'm required to confirm that your child has insurance. I need you to look into that, ma'am, so I can order some insurance. I'm gonna reserve back child support. Was there testimony on a non-disclosure finding?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the testimony? Ma'am, did you want your address and phone number out of the order? I know you talked about her talking through apps, but I don't remember anything else.
Yes, out of the order, please.
And why is that? Has he, does he know where you live right now?
He doesn't.
Does he have your phone number right now?
Just my phone number.
Does he, well, I know at the last hearing he sent, I'm going to grant the non-disclosure, but I'm going to review it again at the next setting and order that they communicate through app close. And I'm ordering that she's the managing conservator and that he's the possessory conservator with a residency restriction to Texas. And when do you want to come back for final? We should give it a little bit of time so that other case can resolve. Because that's going to be a big difference in child support if he has an obligation for children.
We have August 20th, or I don't know if the court wants to push it a little bit more.
Do you know when that other case is set, Ms. Damani? Sure it's in July?
I can take a look, Judge. It's set in June, Judge.
So August 20th is probably
I'm sorry, we have two dates. I see a July 22nd as well. Or we can also do September 13th.
Why don't we do September 13th for final?
And Judge, regarding the meeting place, are we doing the park?
Yeah, I said the park that she mentioned.
Okay,
And it's not just a meeting place, it's where the supervised visits will occur.
okay.
They agree otherwise.
And you're asking for the order to include an order for Ms. Garcia to look into getting insurance through the other source?
Yes. The state's gonna draft the temporary order based on my ruling today. They'll send it to me to review and sign off on, and then they'll send you a copy. And then the final trial will be September 13th, 8:30 a.m. It'll be the same Zoom code information.
Could we do a different day?
Is that date bad for you?
Yeah, if we could do like a Wednesday or a Thursday, that would be great.
I believe we only have Tuesdays and Fridays.
I think you're right. Thought we might have.
The next date is September 24th, but that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we only do Tuesdays. So
Okay, we could just leave it at that Friday. I could just take 2 hours of unpaid time if needed.
so that is it. You're free to go for the day, and we'll be reconvening.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.